All right, guys, welcome back. Let's go over AMC. Looking good today, up a little bit. This is going to be a fractal video, so I'm going to talk about the structure of the reference pattern that you're looking at below, right? So we have AMC on top. This is the daily time frame, and then we also have XRP down here. And this right now is the closest pattern fractal that I've been able to find that does have the same points of interest within its own time frame that correlate with AMC. And I want to talk about this because we do have some fractals that were bearish previously. One of them being ARPA. If you guys remember ARPA, this fractal actually called and I mean basically predicted this sideways trading on AMC for a little while. So back in August of 2022, I was playing around with the premium index on ARPA, and man, this to date, man, I have not found a pattern on AMC that is more accurate, like a macro pattern that is more accurate than ARPA. Now, because so patterns, like everything else, like fractals, we've seen before, they tend to stray away at some point and stop tracking when volume decreases or when volatility is dry, right? So ARPA had its play, it completed the sequence, and then here you started to just see it trade sideways because, again, this is the premium index chart, so it's not going to show, a natural chart that you're normally used to, okay? But this is just to show that because I was using the premium index chart, which tracks volatility, I mean, that's all that should tell you about what AMC is and why it moves the way it does, because you can correlate and track these patterns on small time frames and compare them to larger time frames. So this is why we're doing this right now with XRP. I want to show you guys some of the points of interest and how they correlate and how they line up to the ones that we're currently tracking. Okay? All right, so let's do that. Let's do that. We also have the spots indicator here just to show the smooth curve. We can see where we're at. All right, guys, so we're right in the middle of the cycle's point of interest. If we're going to experience volatility, it's likely to happen around this small window. Okay? If we don't experience volatility, it doesn't matter. Okay? These are just windows that track where we've experienced volatility in the past, and there's correlation. There's 100% correlation that all of the run-ups that we've had before have happened inside of this small window. All of these, okay? All right, so here is XRP down below. All right, so to help us narrow and for us to be able to look at the structure of this pattern, I've also overlaid it on top here for AMC. We're going to be talking about the levels and talking about the volatility windows. Okay, so the POIs are all accurate here. What's the point of interest, right? Point of interest in the cycle is where AMC tends to run, and it's what makes the chart look the way it does. It's why we have these little volatility little sections here in the cycle. 1, 2, okay, and these are going to be the micro ones in between. They're a little bit smaller, but because this fractal here has the same run-ups and same sort of structure of a pattern, yes, there's a lot of gaps in the chart, but that's normal because not every pattern is going to be one-to-one. They're going to have differences, but the overall structure is going to look the same. Okay, so this being, let's take the time frame, little time window, from, let's say, from June, right? So this is September 19th, 2018 on XRP, and this took about 236 days. So for reference, okay, it's about 4x the current chart. This is 800 days instead. Okay, why we call it a fractal, because we're changing the structure. We're changing the time and shrinking it up a little bit to line up with everything else. So what we have coming up, because all of these points of interest are lining up, we have March lining up, we have August lining up, Okay, we even have this lining up as well. So what's coming up here, right? We have the June point of interest, the one that we're currently in. Okay, and this is the where I'm going to talk about the quad witching, because quad witching is this week, right? So a lot has to do with options. Why the cycle even works in the first place is because of the option chain. So if we come back to this other screen, let's pull up the quad witching dates here, the trends. And this is the little projection I've had overlaid here for a little while. And this is the levels that we're tracking. Okay, so right now, if we're going to experience a positive point of interest and not an inverse one, and the price, starts climbing up, the levels to track and that I've been talking about are going to be the same as the fractal that we're tracking with XRP. Okay, a lot of these patterns that are calling for upside, they're going to point at the same fib levels that you're tracking, the same fib extension levels, the same ratio levels. I mean, they're all going to look very similar to each other. Okay, here's the fractal. Here are the quad witching dates. Okay, so we have the 16th of June, and the next one that we're tracking is in September. So there's a little bit of time before the next quad witching date. Now, the special thing about this point of interest is it comes extremely close to this quad witching date. Like the actual date falls inside the window. And we have not experienced that on AMC for some time. The last time we had a volatility zone play out inside of a window, and this was like just roughly barely in there, was the one in March. Okay, so the one in March, right at the beginning, right after that date, we had the price action start to rally. Okay, this one falls a little, we're actually right behind it, and then inside, this would be the peak on the cycle's volatility window is the 21st. Okay, so it's about 2 days after the quad witching expiration. So you guys can already tell if the volatility starts to kick in, there can always be that ripple effect. I've talked about the ripple effect before. That is what causes squeezes to happen. So whenever the price starts to rally and you have that volatility zone, as long as things continue to rally, the POI is active, and now we have the ripple effect, so the aftermath. And that is where, things can go anywhere. You can keep going, price can get rejected. Whatever AMC decides to do from there is up to the chart, and it's up to the volume coming in. All of that stuff is going to matter in the end. So the option chain, very important. Okay, I'm going to talk about one more thing that has to do with this fractal, and it has to do with the levels that we're tracking. But okay, so the reason why I also believe that the $25 range and the $30 range are possible in the mid to short term, mid to long term. So going into that August time range, maybe August, a little bit late August time is going to be the next point of interest. If things do start to climb back up there, if we cross these levels of resistance and get up here, it'll be because of the option chain. It'll be the way these guys hedge for their positions. Okay, back in May of 2021, when we had AMC go all the way up to 77, right? We don't have the chart actually for this. Let's pull up AMC plus APE. Okay, AMC plus APE is going to show us the true price of AMC. We're going to take away this one right back here. Okay, so go back in time to June 2021. Okay, these guys were hedging for the $40 strike. You can see this in the form of a flag, of a pennant. Okay, prior to the run, they had the $40 contracts open. So that was a way. These guys hedged for that position, right? Because they opened the contracts in January of 2021. Price traded sideways. They rallied. They opened up contracts for 70, 70, 77, all the way up to 145. And then they sold those contracts, kept the premiums, and then shorted the price back down. And you can tell right here they kept the price at $40. Okay, $40 was that range. That was the highest open strike position that they had previously. So you can tell these were hedging for leaps. And the price comes down. They trade it somewhere else. This is where we come in and we talk about the parallel channel, because every single year that they start hedging for these positions, you kind of have this like bounce effect on AMC. It like kind of starts climbing back up and down, right? And on the previous video, I talked about the 240-day cycle in which we're currently outside of. We're basically tracking this portion here, just inverse. Okay, so if these guys are going to hedge, okay, for the same position, not the $40 strike, because that's not what we have available right now, but if they're hedging for these positions, okay, you're going to see it reflected the same way. Right now, the contracts, the furthest contracts that are open in the option chain, and we're going to go all the way to January. So January of 2024, and the furthest options that we have available right now are the $25 contracts. So that should, treat it the same way. Why do you think I'm tracking that price? That price point here, remember, this is AMC plus APE, so it's a little different. We come back to AMC here, and the level is 25, is right in the middle. Those are the ones that they have open. Why do they have those open, right? Why do they have the $25 strike? Why do you think some companies and some market makers don't open up further contracts for stocks that have this much volatility? Okay, there's a lot behind the way that that options play a role in the way the price moves. So that right there, guys, is why I believe if we do climb and it's steady climb on the way up, why I think that level is possible. But AMC has to start climbing up. And if this point of interest is not a positive one and we start climbing back down, it's just going to make it 10 times harder. And there's just going to be more weight to happen before things start to climb back up. But I think, again, based on everything that we're looking at right now, AMC has been green for a little bit now, almost 2 weeks of just steady pressure. Nothing crazy yet, because once you build that pressure, you want to just pop. You want to just go. But we're getting close. And I think that if we start to experience volume here in the short term, okay, AMC's going to go, man. And things are going to go down. All right? Things are going to go down. Alrighty, so let's hope for the best, man. If we start to rally, you already know we're going to get on stream, and we're going to rally with the family. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, you like the video, do all that good stuff. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Also, if you have not checked out the Discord, I did open up a free trial. So if you guys want to go sign up and try out the Discord, similar structure, similar kind of place that we have there using cycle analysis, make sure you click the link below, and it'll take you straight there. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.